The sun hung low on the horizon, casting a blood-red glow over the ruins of what was once humanity's greatest city. The air was thick with ash and silence, broken only by the faint hum of machinery buried deep beneath the surface. Above it all, orbiting like a vulture circling its prey, was the alien vessel known as *Arindor*. Its sleek black form shimmered against the dying light, reflecting none of the warmth that had once radiated from Earth. Inside one of the few remaining bunkers, Alex sat hunched over an old radio console. Fingers trembling, they adjusted dials and flipped switches, trying desperately to tune into any signal, a voice, a song, anything that might suggest life still lingered somewhere beyond this wasteland. But there was nothing but static. For weeks now, the broadcasts had ceased entirely, leaving behind only eerie silence. Alex wasn't alone in the bunker. Across the room, Maya worked quietly at another station, her face illuminated by the soft blue glow of a tablet screen. She glanced up occasionally, her eyes meeting Alex's for brief moments before returning to her task. Between them lay their final hope, a prototype transmitter capable of sending a message across interstellar distances. If it worked, someone, or something, might hear their plea for help. "We're running out of time," Maya said finally, breaking the silence. Her voice was calm, but carried an undercurrent of urgency. "If we don't send the signal soon, there won't be anyone left to receive it." Alex nodded, though their gaze remained fixed on the flickering needles of the radio dial. "Do you think anyone's even listening, or are we just shouting into the void?" Mia didn't answer immediately. Instead, she leaned back in her chair, rubbing her temples. Outside, the wind howled through the skeletal remains of skyscrapers, carrying with it the scent of decay. It had been months since the invasion began, months since the skies filled with ships and the ground shook with explosions. Humanity had fought valiantly, but in the end, it hadn't mattered. The invaders were too advanced, too relentless. Cities fell like dominoes, and billions perished in the blink of an eye. "It doesn't matter if anyone's listening," Maya replied after a pause. "What matters is that we try. We owe it to everyone who's already gone." Alex exhaled sharply, spinning away from the console. They stood and paced the length of the cramped space, boots scuffing against the cold metal floor. "And then what? Let's say someone hears us. What do we tell them? That we're sorry? That we couldn't stop them?" "No," Maya said firmly, standing to meet Alex's gaze. "We tell them that we're not done fighting, that even if Earth falls, humanity will survive. Somewhere, somehow." For a moment, neither spoke. The weight of those words settled heavily between them, mingling with the oppressive atmosphere of the bunker. That Alex turned back toward the transmitter, resolve hardening in their expression. "All right, let's do it." Hours passed as they fine-tuned the device, testing frequencies and calibrating power levels. Every second felt like an eternity, every sound outside the bunker a potential threat. Finally, as dawn broke over the desolate landscape, the transmitter was ready. "This is it," Maya whispered, her hand hovering over the activation switch. "Once we send this, there's no turning back." Alex nodded, gripping the edge of the table tightly. "Do it." With a deep breath, Maya pressed the button. A high-pitched whine filled the room as energy surged through the machine, culminating in a blinding flash of light. When it faded, the transmitter fell silent, its job complete. Now came the waiting. 3 days later, the response arrived, not from some distant star system, but from the very ship that loomed above them. At first, it was just a faint crackle over the radio, barely audible beneath the layers of interference. But as Alex adjusted the frequency, a voice emerged, clear and chillingly calm. "Humans of Earth," it said, speaking in flawless English, "your transmission has been received. Surrender your world, and your suffering will end." Alex froze, their heart pounding in their chest. Beside them, Mia clenched her fists, her jaw tightening. Neither dared to breathe as the voice continued. "You have resisted admirably, but resistance is futile. The resources of your planet belong to us now. Cease your attempts to communicate with others, or we will ensure your extinction is absolute." The message ended abruptly, leaving behind only static. For several long minutes, neither Alex nor Maya moved. Then slowly, Alex reached out and switched off the radio. They know, Maya murmured, sinking into a nearby chair. They've been monitoring us this whole time. Alex nodded grimly, and they're afraid. Afraid enough to threaten us directly. A spark of determination ignited within Maya's eyes. Good. Let them be afraid, because if they think we're giving up, they're wrong. Over the next week, Alex and Maya devised a plan, one born of desperation and fueled by anger. Using the same technology that powered the transmitter, they rigged a series of EMP devices designed to disable the alien ship's shields. It was a risky move. If they failed, the retaliation would be swift and merciless. But staying hidden meant certain death anyway. Better to go out fighting. On the night of the operation, they ventured out into the ruins, carrying the devices in backpacks, slung over their shoulders. The streets were eerily quiet, save for the occasional creak of collapsing structures and the distant rumble of the invaders' machines. As they'd approached the designated coordinates, Alex paused, staring up at the massive shadow **** hanging overhead. "Do you think this will work?" they asked softly, their voice barely audible. Mia placed a reassuring hand on their shoulder. "It has to." One by one, they planted the devices at strategic points around the city, synchronizing the timers to detonate simultaneously. By the time they returned to the bunker, sweat-soaked and exhausted, the countdown had already begun. 10 minutes, Maya announced, checking the timer on her wrist. "Let's get to the roof." From there, they watched as the seconds ticked away, the tension mounting with each passing moment. When the clock hit 0, a brilliant pulse of light erupted across the skyline, followed by a deafening roar. The alien ship shuddered violently, its once impenetrable shields flickering and failing. "Yes," Alex shouted, pumping a fist in triumph. But their celebration was short-lived. Moments later, smaller craft descended from ***, swarming the city like insects. The invaders had anticipated their attack. "We need to move," Maya yelled, grabbing Alex's arm and pulling them toward the stairwell. Behind them, the bunker collapsed in a shower of debris, sealing off their escape route. As they ran through the crumbling streets, dodging blasts from the alien ships, Alex realized the truth. This wasn't about winning anymore. It was about making sure the invaders paid a price for what they'd done. And maybe, just maybe, ensuring that humanity's story didn't die with them. Finally, cornered in the remnants of a cathedral, Alex and Maya prepared for their last stand. Around them, fires raged, consuming everything in their path. The heat was unbearable, but neither flinched. "This ends with fire," Alex said, raising their weapon. Mia smiled grimly, standing beside them. "Let's make sure it burns bright." And as the flames engulfed the city, their defiant cries echoed into the night, a final testament to the resilience of a species that refused to fade quietly into oblivion. Above, the stars twinkled indifferently, unaware of the sacrifice made below. Somewhere among them, perhaps, a distant listener heard the message carried on the solar winds, a promise that even in the face of annihilation, humanity would never surrender.